Bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue à la troisième édition du Sommet de la technologie responsable. Je m'appelle Saliou Babou et je suis le chef de l'innovation au Consulat général du Canada à New York. Hello everyone and welcome to the third edition of the Responsible Tech Summit. My name is Saliou Babou and I'm the head of innovation at the Canadian Consulate General in New York. We are absolutely thrilled to co-host this event with All Tech is Human and facilitate these timely and important conversation, considering the regulatory and policy developments that are happening in Canada and in the US with respect to responsible technology, AI governance, and online safety. Before passing the mic to Canada's Deputy Consul General André Frenette, just some very quick housekeeping. We will have two health breaks at around 4:30 and 5:45 to give everyone a chance to stretch their legs and take calls if necessary, and to also avoid disrupting the panels. And we'll also be having a networking event and a mixer literally across the street at the West Side Tavern after the event so that we can further engage in these important conversations. Without further ado, now I'd like to pass on the mic to André Frenette, Canada's Deputy Consul General in New York.
Merci beaucoup, Saliou, et bonjour à vous tous. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Government of Canada and the Consulate General of Canada here in New York, I am so delighted to welcome you to this third edition of the Responsible Tech Summit. I think the timing of this summit could not come at a better moment. There isn't a day that goes by where we don't read a story or an opinion on how AI advancement is going to be harmful to humankind, or articles and opinions about how AI advancement will greatly benefit social, human, and economic development, or articles and opinions that situate the debate somewhere in the middle. Thank you so much for being with us today to not only help us better understand that space, but thank you as well to our panelists for helping us better understand the policy space within which we find ourselves. So since we last came together in March for the second edition of the Responsible Tech Summit, AI pioneers like Joshua Bengio and Jeffrey Hinton have raised the alarm bells, as you well know, about the rapid advancement of AI technology. Now, they argue that AI technologies can become a threat to our elections, to our security, to our livelihoods, and that these challenges pose significant challenges to governments worldwide, including ours in Canada. We would be wise to listen to their views. But also, we have learned through our engagement with really intelligent and thoughtful people in this community that there's plenty to be optimistic about. We may have to make some trade-offs here and there as we try and find this balance between fostering innovation and protecting human rights and democracy. But our lessons learned and best practices on internet freedom and social media platforms may well inform our path forward. To prepare for this next era of technology, Canada has been a world leader in investing in artificial intelligence research and innovation. Just in 2017, Canada became the very first country in the world to launch a national AI strategy. This strategy is helping commercialize and encourage adoption of Canadian AI technologies, advancing the development and adoption of federal AI standards, and investing in world-class training and talent. And we're so excited to showcase some of that exceptional talent with our speakers today, including Heather Evans, Samantha Bradshaw, Shuman Gosmajumder, Sinead Bovell, Patrick K. Lynn, and Shabanaz Rashidia. We're also very proud to highlight the outstanding work of our Canadian academic and research institutions, who are training the world's next generation of tech policy experts, like Tim Wu, and those who are advancing new projects with global thought leaders like Frances Hogan. But we know that we can't forge this path alone. We need to be able to do it together. And Canada and the United States are not only each other's oldest friends, allies, and partners, but we're also coming together and collaborating on digital technologies, and we're just getting started in this very important conversation. Earlier this year, Canada and the United States announced the advancement of a cross-border semiconductor production corridor, ensuring that both our countries have a secure, a resilient supply of this critical technology input. We're also working with the United States through the Freedom Online Coalition. This is the only multilateral group dedicated to defending human rights and democracy online. We're grateful to all of our civil society partners like Ali Funk and Freedom House for their engagement and support. Now, speaking of partners, I want to wrap up my comments by giving or saying a big thank you to David, to Sandra, to Josh, Alyssa, and the rest of the All Tech is Human team. We've been collaborating with David and his team for a long time now. This is why we are here. That's how we're able to get to this third edition, and we are very grateful. I also want to say a big thank you to my team at the Consulate General. So Salyu and Alex and Grace, Delaney, Adriana and Cynthia, they're all here this afternoon. Through their hard work, we are able to come here today and engage in this very meaningful conversation. So thank you to the Consulate team as well. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon of discussion and debate, a wonderful evening across the street as well. And now it's my pleasure to ask David to join us on the stage. Thank you all.
All right, I'm going to walk to the center stage as we get ready for the real activities. All right, how do we like that moment of transition? I feel like I needed some walking music, but I just want to thank everyone for being here. And again, for the Consulate for the great partnership. As Andre was mentioning, this is our third edition, our trilogy, right? 3 gatherings in the last, I believe, 18 months together. The tone that we want to set today is really around 3 different areas. We've had the opportunity, and I would say privilege, at All Tech is Human, where we try to bring people together across civil society, government, industry, and academia to understand values, best practices, and pathways forward. And what that's given us over the last few years is all these direct interactions with thousands of people through our mentorship program, our Slack community, summits and mixers. So we've learned a lot. And the next stage, we kind of feel like this is a new stage. I might have seen recently, we just have Rebecca Tweed as our new executive director. I'm switching my role because turns out funders need a lot of time. So you got to fly around the country and do all that good stuff as we grow. But the new stage of what we're trying to do is around action, right? So if the first 5 years founded All Tech is Human in 2018 here in New York City, where we're making it the global hub for the responsible tech movement. But the next 5 years is around taking what we've learned and making these larger changes. The 3 parts that we learned is that we're moving too slow, right? We've got these incredibly complex issues, but we have this inability to move fast enough. So there's this gulf, there's this delta between how fast innovation moves and how slow our tech consideration moves. You have things like the AI pause letter that are kind of trying to say, well, maybe we can pause technology. Well, that's probably not going to happen. But what we definitely can do is rapidly speed up our ability to come together, to understand resources, who are the organizations in the space, who are the people that should have a seat at this proverbial table. So we've got speed. The second part is we don't have the right people at that proverbial table. How do we diversify this traditional tech pipeline with more backgrounds, disciplines, and lived experiences? And then the last part, and that's what everybody here is today. So thank you again for taking out this time, for all your participation, for all the resources you're sharing, right? For all the people who have participated in our events, shared their ideas on stage, been interviewed in our reports. Today, we're just releasing our Responsible Tech Guide. So we have such a wealth of talent, such a wealth of people who have something to say. They feel like they need to be part of the process. But what we lack and what we're trying to do is to create a more cohesive, responsible tech ecosystem that can move at the speed of tech to solve these wicked tech and society issues. That's what we need to do. Move faster, be more connected, and open up pathways for new voices to enter this space. So many people at All Tech is Human write to us, especially on Slack, to say, effectively, do I belong? Do I belong in this conversation? I have background in psych or psychology. And the answer is yes. I mean, think about something like social media. In its very nature, you could argue that part of the problem was you over-relied on technologists who maybe downplayed the significance of interrelationships and how this affects how we live, love, learn, even die. Right? These are larger questions. And that's why, as you'll see with the first fireside chat, so much of what we're taking is this interconnectivity between social cohesion, connection, the human condition. And it's all related to social media and artificial intelligence, because you might be looking at the speakers and say, how does this all connect? I'm going to hand it over to Julie, who is going to tell us with Sherry Turkle how this all connects. So please give a warm welcome to Sherry Turkle and Julie Scelfo. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.